Hello, Geminis. How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. To your energy readings going from the 12th to the 19th of August. Hope you're doing well. How was your week last week? How's this week gone? Did you get very productive? Did you get things working, moving forward? I hope so, because it seems to have been that way. And I think that's got to do with, and I was talking about them in the message from energy, not this week, but the week before, about this veil that's been lifted. And it should be a lot easier to manifest things if you keep it simple and stick to a process, which you're very good at doing. You know, this week here on the energy messages, it was all about allowing our heart to sing because the process is starting to work and we're starting to see results, the truths that are coming out, the clarity that we're getting. And it's also that nature itself has got confidence within us as a collective and as us as individuals in order to, pull our finger out and get it working. And I think you've got this role to play in that of making sure things are moving on. And it's got to be the only way you can make sure things move along is by making sure things move along in your life primarily. Okay. So yeah, there's another thing I want to say just before I go on as well. If you wanna ask a question that you want me to channel in next week's reading, please leave a question in the comments below. Try and make it as precise as possible, and I will choose two questions that I will channel in the readings next week. Okay. Yes, so let's get on with your reading. Let's see what's going on with the messages from energy. We'll also look at the chakra sequencing and pull a few cards for you at the end. So let's first connect to that energy that's all around. Very nice energy, very serious actually, um, for you, Gemini. And you can be very serious. Certainly when you're dealing with something or trying to trying to get something into action, trying to follow a modus operandi, where you've got a plan of action and you want to get that out there. And that seems like emotionally you're really concentrating on it and not allowing your emotions to get in the way. But it's also building up because you're getting success. It's building up or welling up a a confidence within your emotional state and confidence within how good you are, Gemini. Absolutely lovely energies. Okay, very, very solid emotional things. And it could be a realization in regards to your emotional side of life. It could be a realization of, your emotional engagement in a relationship or, the emotional engagement of another within your relationship with them. And it could be with family, friends, community, but I got a funny feeling it's one-to-one. And it's an emotion that sort of really does touch you. We'll look into that a little bit more deeper afterwards. Let's just see if we can get a message here. You're stripping off a layer here. The old you doesn't serve the new reality. And you seem to be heading off now in a direction that there's ways of doing things before that no longer need to be in place. And I think it's very emotional. I think it's very personal about how you engage in life, how you engage in other people. And, your perception of the world may be changing as much as the world is changing. And therefore, you're going to need new systems or new ways of doing things in this new reality. And it does work incredibly well for you, I think. Just see what's going on the financial sort of side. I was talking about it over the last 2 years about how there's a calling within you of a direction. And for some of you, it's like you've got the fork in the road is now starting to get distance between the two. And, you know, some of you are realizing, kind of going, I'm so glad I'm not on that road anymore. Or there's some of you that's actually realizing, kind of going, do you know what, I wish I was on that road. And it's not too late to change. These roads, they go out and then they come back together. There is always moments of crossing points in life where you can change the directions at any given point, and it's great for you. You know, but you know, I wouldn't drastically change your direction at the moment. In your financial side, I will keep going on in the direction you are at the moment. If there's a goal for growth in the future. And that is coming up, I would say, in the next month and a half, actually, for you. In the next month and a half, I think you're going to have this moment where you can, it might be a plan that you want to do that it's just outside your reach at the moment and maybe needs a bit more organization. And when you've got that organization, you're going to get this crossing point in the next sort of like month and a half, 2 months, where you can change paths. So being ready for it, and I think it's all about preparing for it this week here. And it's because you're shedding something. You're opening up your heart to what is really makes you tick. Because you do that, and all of a sudden you're going to realize, I want to do that. See what's going on the relationship side of life. There's a definite situation of, no, I'm not gonna take that anymore. I don't need to take that anymore. You know, and you're taking a stance, and it hurts to take a stance in a way because you know there's the other side to that story as well, which is beautiful. But I think in order to have that beauty to be within your life, you have to make a stance and say no. And it's not no nastily at all, because I think it's causing you as much anguish as much as it's causing the other person anguish. But it's sensible to realize of the healthy boundaries that you need naturally between you and other people in relationships and so forth, for it to actually find the it's like when you plant seeds in your garden for your tomatoes, you don't plant them right next to each other because that's not good. You've got to have a respectful distance between the two in the plants, so then you get good results off both plants. So I think that's an attitude that you're developing and creating within your emotional or relationship side of your life this week. And acknowledging that will serve you no ends of good in the future. What's going on the spiritual side of life? It's like you're reading a book, and it could be any book, you know. You're reading a book, and you're getting, there's another thing that's coming through as well, you're getting a lot of help from upstairs, as it were. It's like you're reading a book, and it could be just a novel, and there's a paragraph or a sentence that just jumps out at you, and it just kind of makes you go, oh right. There's a real light that comes out of and it could even be learning about something. It could be even, you know, learning how to, you know, decorate your house or whatever. And in that process, you know how to then engage in life in a different way. But there's a greater understanding through absorbing, you know, knowledge and understanding from around you or from a book or from something like that. But it does create in you this sense of kind of going, oh, right, a real realization, a revelation for you on the spiritual front, which is really nice. Let's see what's going on with the chakra sequencing for you. And this is where you're going to be playing to your strengths here within your energies. Okay, there we've got that neutral point, we've got that morphic energies that's going on around. Got the crown and the root straight away. Very balanced, very harmonious. Like we said in the messages from energy, it's a supportive thing rather than being the primary thing there. Where's it moving on to? Go straight onto the solar plexus, and you can have a bit of a dicky stomach sometimes, a bit of a tricky stomach, and that's often because you keep things in and don't say things, hold them in, and that stress is held in within the intestines and the stomach, and that's not good, really. Sometimes I realise you can't say everything, but here is like it's the solar plexus that's sort of saying no. And I think that's helping you to back up that idea of saying no to someone. I'm not gonna accept that anymore as an attitude or a way of treating me or an engagement in regards to relations or love, you know. And it's that force, it's that confidence that is building in you to sort of say, no, I love you dearly, but no. Sort of scenario. And it gets rid of a lot of worries, woes and worries and stuff like that. I think that solar plexus. It helps to filter out any kidney stuff away and take a lot of stress away from you. Where's it moving on to next? So we're getting the third eye and the throat. And then one plays after the other. They're doing like that. So it's like my third eye is going like that, and then whilst my throat goes like that, and it just goes like that. Ooh, ooh. A very methodical way of doing things. And I think that no starts that idea of kind of going, right, now I've said no, I've got a bit of space around me, and I can start getting into a rhythm which builds not only results and success and so forth in your physical life, but also makes you a lot happier, content, and worry free within your relationship side of life in a really nice way. And it plays into one another, so you're not relying on just the mental side of overthinking things, and you're not relying on either sort of saying, just saying things that put the end to things. It's a combination between the logic and the emotions that allows you to have a central path to follow. And then it does go down to the sacrum, and it is getting that, it's re-establishing. Now you're discovering, and this is that layer that you're taking off, now you're discovering that heart that is within you and how to open it up and let it run free. Um, you know that you need certain fundamental things in place in order to feel comfortable about allowing your heart to open up. And things need to be a little bit more reliable for you. And then it comes back to that solar plexus again. And I think this builds back into this confidence. It's almost like an auto-feeding loop towards your own confidence that is building. Very, very nice. And then it goes back to the crown and the root. And it's having that determination within you was going to be key to your heart's desires. Key to your heart's desires. Let's just have a quick pull of a few cards on your financial, on your relationship side, and on you as well. Start on your financial side, shall we? Page of Swords. Yeah, this is learning about how to convert ideas into reality. Cutting through the mist as well, I think, for you. And it's a learning process. And I think no is part of it. And understanding no is in a nice thing. You can help someone with no far more than you can help them with the yes. It depends on the situation, obviously. You're starting to discover that and starting to apply it within your life. And that's helping and giving that space to convert ideas into reality. And that's that pathway that's slightly out of reach. And it's learning how to get towards that pathway. Yeah, look at that. That's that golden pathway, that golden nugget. I still think that within your heart, if this is what you realize you should be doing, then this is what you should be doing. And I wouldn't be holding back if I was you. Really wouldn't be holding back. But you do have this crossing point coming up in a month and a half, I think. An opportunity to really change pathways. But you're recognizing that golden nugget now. See what's going on the relationship side? Oh, Empress, control over emotions. This is what I mean about the no. Don't say no because out of spite. Just say no because no is the right thing to say. It's not because I want to cause you pain or anything like that. And I don't want to say no to you, but it's the right thing to do. And that's what you're understanding within your relationship side. It's not only going to empower you, but it's going to eventually, it will really empower the relationship, make the relationship a lot more solid, a lot more solid. 8 of Cups, being curious about it, most certainly. You know, the sun, this is the only card where you've got the eclipse going on, where the moon is covering your sun. The unforeseen of, you know, of your happiness, which is the sun, is being covered over at the moment. And I think this is where, you know, you've got to try things out and recognize the limits between yourself and another person or people. And it's going to make you curious to kind of sort of saying, well, if that works well, then maybe it'll work well on the other side as well. You know, so it's being curious about what if I say no? You know, but not in a nasty way. Obviously, we went through that. Okay, you, it's you covering your own happiness. Is that what you're doing? As I said with the 8 of Cups, you're eclipsing it. The moon is a Scorpio card. It's all about the path, the unseen pathway, which, you know, connects the upper and lower worlds. It is the zeitgeist, the sensation, and you're starting to recognize it. As much as you're starting to recognize that pathway that you know you should be on, that you're not quite in reaching at the moment, and you're nurturing it. You're nurturing this development for you, and you've gone through the hardship, the 5 of Pentacles here, and you've got the 2 of Pentacles on this side here. So, you know, you're recognizing that it has been a transition from something that has been difficult, and now you're working on the things that actually work for you. And that's that whole no process as well. So there you go, Gemini. Absolutely lovely week for you. Very, very productive. Emotionally impacting, I think, as well for you, Gemini. So be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with the world. And it will all work in your favor. I'm pretty sure of it. Okay? Yes, thanking you very much for having the confidence to subscribe, like, and share. And also the comments. Don't forget about the questions for the channeling of the answers next week. Also the messages from energy and all the other energy videos that we do on this channel. I will see you soon. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.